Hello, everybody. Good day from wherever you're watching me all over the world. My name is Emmanuel Remilekun, and I'll be your piano instructor. So for this episode, we'll be having an introduction to piano. We'll be looking at the history of the piano, and we'll be looking at the differences we have between piano and keyboards. You know, we've had misconceptions before now. Some call it piano, some call it keyboard. So we'll be looking into that. What makes a piano piano? What makes a keyboard keyboard? Also, we'll be looking at the fingering placement on the piano or the keyboard, whichever you call it. And I will just need your attention, and I will need you to follow. Okay, let's start right away. So we'll be looking at piano. Let's look at the history of piano. Piano was invented by a man called Bartolomeo Cristofori. He was an Italian man from Italy, and he lived in the 17th century. He was actually bothered by the intensity of harpsichord. Before piano, what we had was harpsichord. And harpsichord as a then, you can't really control, you can't really play soft. The volume they are all of the same. You know, at the slightest touch, what you have is equal volume. You know, something like this. All the volume, you can't really play soft. So this man was bothered about having something whereby you can alternate between playing soft, playing very quiet, and playing very loud. And that thought led to what we call piano today. So when piano was invented in the 17th century, now we now had something we can really, you know, play very, very soft on. Compare with the harpsichord, whereby all are of equal volume. You know, so when piano was being invented, we now have a variety of dynamics. You can choose to play soft, you can choose to play very loud, and the choice is now yours to choose. So also now we'll be moving on to what differentiates a piano from keyboard. Now, when piano was invented, it was purely an acoustic instrument, meaning sound were being generated manually, meaning you don't need any source of light for something to work. So you just, at any point in time, you just come to the piano and you play it. And the way it works, you have some set of strings inside the piano. So when you touch a key, there's a string that responds to that. And that's how the sound is being generated. But compared with keyboards, they need power. You have to, you know, connect them to light for us to be able to play them and for us to have sound. Also, for piano are always weighted keys. This is what I mean. When you play them, this is a keyboard. What I'm having here is a keyboard. But piano are always weighted key. After this episode, the next one, we'll be moving on to a piano, so you can watch out for that. Meaning, when you touch the keys, they are quite heavy compared with the keyboard. But for the keyboard, you don't need to really exert a lot of energy or strength for you to bring out sound from it. So what I have before me is actually a keyboard. Also, piano, most times, not all the times, there are always 7.5 octaves. 7.5 octaves. But keyboards are always, most times, 5 or 5.5. So the length differs when you look at keyboard and when you look at piano. And another thing that differentiates piano and keyboard is the numbers of keys. We have 88 keys, which is 7.5, on the piano. Okay? 88 keys on the piano. But you have lesser than that on the keyboard. And why? Somebody will ask me, why are the keys 88 keys? It's very simple. The reason why the keys are 88 keys is because the frequency human ear can actually pick is about like 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. And the pitch human ear can really distinguish is about like 50 hertz to 4,000 hertz. Now, so when you check the lowest note of a piano, that's the A ending. I'm going to show us in the next episode. When you touch it, what you're going to have is something you will not be able to pick the pitch. I will demonstrate that. When you touch it, anything lower than that, you won't be able to distinguish which exact pitch is this. And also, when you touch the highest note on the piano, which is about like 4,500 hertz, anything after that, you might not be able to distinguish the pitch. So the reason why we have 88 keys is because these are the range of sound human ear can actually pick and distinguish. So after saying that, how do we play the piano? Do you just come? Do you just touch? Do you just... No. One of the things we need to put into consideration has to do with posture. You know, you don't play piano as if you are riding bicycle or you are snapping a picture. No. You must stand upright at angle 90. Your back should be straight. And that's one thing that is very of great importance. Also, you don't play piano with a chair that has arm, Armless chair is the best so that you can really navigate and move around easily. Also, the stand you're going to be using should not be too high or too low, should not be too tall or too short, because if it is too high, you'll be feeling pain after playing for a while. So make sure that the height is comfortable for you based on your own personal height. You can't compare yourself. Some people are very tall, some people are extremely short, some they have average height. So based on your height, make sure the stand is not too high for you or too low. So having said that, so we'll be looking at fingering position for the piano. Now we play the piano with the tip of our fingers. We play the piano with the tip of our finger. So the not ear, the tip of the finger. And the way we position our both ends, just imagine you have a tennis ball or small orange with you, something like this. Just imagine you have something like this and you're holding it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So look at this. I think this orange is too big for me, but something smaller, or something like a tennis ball. So you are supposed to have a curve. Your fingers are supposed to curve. Your fingers are not supposed to be flat. And your wrist is not supposed to be too high or too low, because it will affect your flexibility. It will affect your flexibility. So we play with the tip of the finger, as I said earlier on. But for the thumb, we play with the side, this part. Because you can't play like this. So it has to be like this. So you can see that. I'm very sure the camera will zoom in into this. And so you can see that on your screen. We play with the tip. Also, the way we play the piano, just imagine you have your two legs walking. You can't be walking like this. Meaning, when one foot is up, the other one is down. This is what I mean. You don't walk like this. So this is what you have. So just imagine your fingers are walking. So you have your fingers curving round, and with the tip on the keys, then gently, when you are lifting one, the other one is going down. When you are lifting one, the other one is going. When you are lifting one, the other one is going. When you are lifting one, the other one is going. Now, naturally, these last two fingers, they are very weak compared with these first three fingers. So when you just embark on your journey of piano playing, you have to work more on these last two fingers to make them as strong as these first three fingers. So don't forget, we're having curved fingers and one by one. So you can just practice that. Just place each of your fingers. You're having 5 fingers. place them on any 5 keys at random. You can pick any 5 white keys at random. So just touch one by one. Make sure each of the fingers is pressing the keys. Then there shouldn't be any 2 fingers at a time. Something like this, no? So you can do that. Just do that slowly. Your first 5 fingers, you go up. Just pick any key at random. You can start from anywhere. The sound doesn't matter. What is of great importance is the fingering position, rather. So you go slowly, just pick, then you do that for the left hand. Now, if you are right-handed, then your left hand will be weaker. If you are left-handed, your right hand will be weaker. So if you practice this, if you are right-handed, for example, if you practice this for maybe like 5 or 10 times, you have to practice this for like, maybe 20 or 30. You have to double the effort you put into this for this. So I am right-handed. So if after I'm done with maybe 5 of these, 5 rounds, just do it slowly. The speed doesn't matter at this beginning part. What is needed is your stability and flexibility. How stable are you? How consistent are you? So don't rush into. Don't come and do. No. So just take it gently. So when you are done, you have to pick your left fingers as well. Then repeat it and do it over and over. Also, gently. Now, don't allow your fingers to be flying, you're not jumping out of anywhere. So make sure they are well positioned, slowly. With the tip. You can pick any key at random. Okay. So when you're done with the left hand, you cannot combine the 2 ends together. And do it slowly, 1 step at a time. So what are the things to avoid? When you're moving to the next key, make sure you are releasing the previous key. So don't do something like this. No. There's no way you will lift your leg and your other feet will still be on the ground. Or you can't lift your 2 feet at the same time. So just imagine you're walking, the way you walk, just like bicycle pedal. So you do it gently. Now make sure you are stable and you are consistent. Don't do or no. Then also don't let your fingers to be flying like this. No. Make sure they are well positioned. Good to go. They are ready. So you go slowly. As I said, you can pick any 5 white keys at random. You can pick these. You can pick any. Then you can now increase the pace, the speed, slowly. You can do it slowly. Also, avoid pressing 2 keys, pressing in between the keys, something like this. No. Make sure each finger is for each of the keys, not. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, slowly, each of the keys, each of the sounds should be distinguished from one another. Then you can now increase the pace little by little, So after you have done it over and over, one thing about our fingers, And one thing about when you are learning anything, the initial stage, it will be as if it's difficult. But the more you do it often and often, often and often, often and often, your fingers on their own will get used to it. That you even be able to do it, at a greater speed. All right, so that's the positioning, the fingering positioning on the keyboard or piano. Now, this might seem boring, but it's the foundation, so you really need to do it very well. Even scripture says, if the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? This is the bedrock of your flexibility when playing the piano. Because if you can't play this very well, if this is not smooth enough, you won't be able to play a lot of things. You're not going to have flexibility. So it might seem boring, it might seem not interesting, but it is highly recommended because it's going to help you. Because on the long run, each of your ends have to function differently as an individual, as if they are being controlled by two different people entirely. So this will form the bedrock of your flexibility. So ensure you do it very well. Go at your own convenient speed, okay? And don't do something like this. Let it be even. If you can play this very well, then gradually things will be much more easier for you. You'll be able to play songs much more faster. You'll be able to, because your fingers are well prepared, they are ready. You're going to have much more flexibility